Hey YouTube, how is it going today? Well, in this video, I want to go over a company called Healthier Choices Management Corporation, ticker symbol HCMC. I've had a bunch of requests to go over their chart, so I'm going to go over their current price action and tell you what I think could be coming next. And then after that, I have a bunch of very nice looking chart patterns of some stocks that could be going up in the very near future. If you're new to my channel, I like to trade and invest in typically lower price stocks, so if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading or investing ideas. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor, so do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. Now, if you're not familiar with this company, Healthier Choices Management Corporation is a U.S.-based publicly traded company specializing in providing consumers with healthier alternatives to everyday lifestyle choices. Most recently, the company formed a wholly owned subsidiary, HCMC Intellectual Property Holdings, LLC, to hold and market its intellectual property assets. This subsidiary will own all of the patents, trademarks, and other intellectual property of HCMC and will be utilized in the company's attempt to monetize its intellectual property. Under its wholly owned subsidiaries, Healthy Choice Markets and Healthy Choice Markets 2, HCMC owns both Ada's Natural Market and 3 Paradise Health Valley and Nutrition stores. Their stores provide all natural and organic products in a friendly and healthful atmosphere with aisles of traditional grocery, complete with frozen, healthy home, vitamins and supplements, health and beauty, fresh produce, hormone and antibiotic-free meats, and bulk foods. Ada's also offers chef-prepared, ready-to-go foods, a 100% organic juice and smoothie bar, a free trade coffee bar with fresh-baked daily baked goods from a local artisan baker, and their flagship Greenleaf Grill fast casual in-store restaurant. Now, Healthier Choices extends past just healthy eating. Through its 8 owned vape stores across the southeastern United States, they offer smokers an alternative to traditional cigarettes, operating regionally through its vape store brands, including the Vape Store, Vapor Max, Vulcan Vape, and the Grab Bag locations. Their vape stores provide an endless selection of industry-best vaping hardware and e-liquids, giving their customers a way to get their nicotine without the smoke, tar, ash, or carbon monoxide found in traditional cigarettes. Now, of course, the real story with HCMC is they are currently involved in a patent infringement lawsuit against Philip Morris in connection with their product known and marketed as IQOS. And in my opinion, if they have any wins against Philip Morris, that would be what it takes to send this stock to the moon. All right, well, let's jump over to my TC2000 charting software. This is the current daily chart of Healthier Choices Management Corporation. And if I zoom in a little bit, let's look at the current price action. And as we can see, it's kind of just in a little bit of a slow drift. The stock came all the way down and hit that 50-period simple moving average, and it didn't get much of a bounce. Now, the bad news is there isn't a whole lot of buying coming into the stock right now, but the good news is there isn't a whole lot of selling either. So it seems like a lot of people are just in a holding pattern, waiting to see if those lawsuits get resolved and if any of them are going to go in HCMC's favor. It doesn't look like any word has leaked yet because we would start seeing a little bit of accumulation going on, and we can see that volume is definitely starting to taper off. You can see that from the average daily volume line, and if I put a trend line on it, you can see it even easier if I can get it to work. There we go. We can see that the volume is just falling off a cliff right now, and I think it's because a lot of people are just waiting for the results of those lawsuits. So, if you are in this stock, you definitely want to keep holding it because there's no need getting out now. The stock has come all the way down, and if any of those lawsuits go in your favor, you don't want to be selling at the bottom. But if you're just thinking about buying this stock and potentially holding on to it in hopes of them winning some of those lawsuits, or if you just want to be an investor in the other side of their business, now is a pretty decent time to be taking a position in the stock. You want to buy on those deep pullbacks. You don't want to be buying up here near the top, because then if you get these deep pullbacks, well, you start feeling like crap, and then you might end up getting scared out at the bottom. But I think HCMC is at a pretty decent buy area if you want to take a long shot on a company that if they win some of those lawsuits, this stock could definitely scream higher. But let's take a look intraday and see if we can get any better look at what's been going on. This is just the hourly chart. On the 15-minute chart, it looks a little bit too choppy, but if we go to the hourly chart, we can see it definitely made a bottom. It's bounced up and it is just going sideways. Volume has totally fallen off a cliff compared to where it was in the last few weeks or so. So in my opinion, HCMC is in a little bit of a holding pattern. If you're long the stock, you definitely don't want to be selling now because you have that potential in the future. In fact, you might want to maybe add a little bit here because you want to add on those deep pullbacks. But if you are thinking about buying the stock, now is probably just as good a time as ever. And, if this stock just continues to fade down for a while, then chances are they might not be winning those lawsuits because there's no buying coming into it. And then you can just kind of take your small loss and move on. But if you are holding this stock, now is not the time to be selling. You're probably thinking, might as well just cut my loss and move on to something else, especially when you see all these other stocks taking off. But this is the low point in the chart. It has made a low. If you are considering getting out of this stock, I probably, if you've ridden it all this way down, I wouldn't get out of it until it breaks this low right around here. Because there's no point in getting out now that it's already carved out a little bit of a bottom. I would wait to see where these lawsuits are going to go. Okay, as promised, I got some other nice looking charts to show you, and the first one I want to show you actually kind of stings a little bit because I've been looking at this one for a couple of days, and this morning I was a little preoccupied trying to scalp some Tesla options, and I missed my entry on this one. I should have bought it as soon as the market opened, but some guys in the Patreon did, and I guess they're doing pretty good. Oh well. But it's still a very nice looking chart. If we zoom in just a little bit, we can see how beautifully it's holding that 8-period exponential moving average, putting pressure on that resistance area, and then you got that explosion out of it. Let's go intraday real quick and take a better look at it. Now, if we zoom out a little bit, this is the 15-minute chart. I mean, just an absolutely beautiful triangle consolidation, putting some pressure on that resistance area. You had a couple of false breaks. But now you got the huge explosion out of it today, and it is up. Let me go back to the chart. It's up about 22% at the moment, and it is off the high, so it was up probably over 30% at least at one time in the day. And if we go to the minute chart, we can see that it exploded, right out of the gate. I mean, it was about $4.80 when I was thinking about grabbing it. But I was a little too preoccupied with trying to scalp those Tesla options. This thing just took off without me, and I actually put in another order to buy it at $5.56. I put it in when the stock was right around here. And I looked at the book, and I was the only person on the book at $5.56. But the stocks came all the way down to $5.56. Touched it 2 minutes in a row. But surprise, surprise, they didn't execute my order. Even though it's supposed to be first come, first serve, somehow I didn't get executed. But that's the way it goes. I should know better than to be putting my buy order so close to this support area over here. I try to put it just a couple of cents above because I know if it does come down to that price area, chances are they're not going to execute mine. They're going to execute other probably their big institutional clients before they give it to a lowly piece of scum like me. But anyway, learn from my mistakes. If you're looking at a clear-cut support area, put it a couple cents above that. I almost always do, but for some reason I just didn't think it was going to pull back that far, so I kind of got a little too cute with my entry. But anyway, I might still end up buying this stock because it is a very nice looking chart pattern, and it looks like this is probably going to have some continuation. So I might end up jumping in this at the near the end of the day. But I just wanted to show you Express. Just looks like it could be going on a multi-day run. Very nice looking chart pattern. Now, another company in this group that I was watching was Chico's. Ticker symbol CHS. Some of these apparel stores are really starting to take off, and Chico's is probably the lowest priced one on my watch list. And this one has been holding the highs, and now it's looked like it's getting that explosion up. Actually, let me open up this. Let me open up this group right here. Let's go to the apparel stores. Let me put some volume on these real quick. like to see how much volume is going on. Okay, here is J. Jill Incorporated. Well, here's Express. Here is Chico's. You know, what I like to do is like sort them by price. And then, of course, I want to see how much volume is going on. Then I can just spacebar through them on this software. Let me get this thing out of the way a little bit here. But you can see that a lot of these stocks in this industry group are just on a tear, and a lot of them are looking like they're just starting to be breaking out. There's American Eagle Outfitters. Looks like it's going to be breaking out of this consolidation. Here's the Gap, made a very nice rounding bottom and is starting to move up. So this industry group, the apparel stores, is very strong right now. This is Abercrombie and Fitch. This one has been running. So this industry group is super strong. And when I see an industry group that is really strong, what I like to do is go and look at some of the lower price stocks, because usually the lower price stocks are the last ones to move. That's the beautiful thing about trading lower price stocks, is some of the bigger ones start to move first, and unless you're really early and you notice them starting their run and you kind of miss it, you can always go back and look at the lower price stocks, because those ones tend to move last. And that's what we're starting to see with Chico's. Chico's has just been starting to run in the last few weeks and busted through this consolidation, and now it looks like it's starting its run because it has been very strong and is holding the highs. But CHS definitely looks like a nice chart right now. Let me get this thing out here and let's go to the next one. Next one I want to show you is NMTR. Let me back out a little bit here. But we can see this one had a break through that 50-period simple moving average, had the reaction bounce up through it. It was trading much higher when I put this on my list, but we are in the middle of the lunch hour drift. So a lot of these stocks will kind of fade down a little bit during the lunch hour, and then usually they get strong into the close. But NMTR making a very nice pattern, jumped back above the 8-period exponential moving average, held it perfectly for several days, and it looks like it should be breaking out. The next one I want to show you is one I've talked about before as well, ADIL. I actually own this one, and it stopped me out when the market crashed, but I am considering getting back in this one. Definitely looks like it is starting to pick up some momentum again, and it could be taking out that old high right around 3.25 pretty soon. Another one I want to show you is Safe Bulkers. Ticker symbol SB. This one I've talked about on the channel before. Broke out of this saucer pattern and has been running ever since. Well, it's been going sideways into this consolidation. But if we zoom in a little closer, we can see it looks like it is about ready to break out of it. So Safe Bulkers, you see all this volume coming in the last 6 or 7 trading days or so. That means it looks like it is priming up for a breakout of this old high. So Safe Bulkers is definitely one worth watching to see if it breaks out. Next one I want to go over is PHUN. PHUN is making a similar pattern to NMTR. It came down through those moving average, had a reversal, blasted above those moving averages, and is now starting to hold it, and is actually starting to move higher. Even though today is kind of an inside bar, it did make a new high, even though it's pulling back. But the technical part of the chart that looks really good is it's holding above that 8-period exponential moving average. So probably if it holds here and then tomorrow as well, if that moving average catches up, there's a pretty good possibility that it could give it that slingshot move up. And the last one I want to show you is AGTC. AGTC is starting to move above that 8-period exponential moving average. It looks like it's starting to pick up some momentum. You had all that volume in a few weeks ago. We had the quiet period, and now it looks like it's starting to build momentum again. You know, when this stock gets going, quite often it blasts above that 8-period exponential moving average, and then it starts its run. Now let me back out here on this one. You can definitely see that it did it in the past. Definitely see this move up, had an explosion up, came down, held that moving average, and then it took off again. So this stock is, when this stock takes off, it usually catches a pretty big bid. I mean, right down here, it took off from about $2.75 all the way up over $10 in just a few short weeks. And then it has its huge pullback. Well, if we walk it forward to the current day, we can see that it had that huge explosion just a couple of weeks. Now we have the pullback again, so it looks like it's starting to build up for another run. But AGTC, I think if it can move up just a little bit higher and then hold those highs, if this moving average catches up, it has a pretty strong possibility of giving it another push higher. Okay, everybody, that is all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions or comments about any of these stocks, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.